presentation is based on overworked nurses, more specifically on oncology nurses, and how oncology nurses experience the most ethical dilemmas more than most other nurses. Oncology nurses provide and supervise care for cancer patients who are either chronically or critically ill. Oncology nurse practitioners monitor their patients' physical conditions, prescribe medication, and formulate symptom management strategies. These caring individuals often witness suffering and death, but many thrive on the deep, ongoing relationships they develop with their patients. Oncology nursing is usually referred to as the most stressful branch of nursing because of all the ethical dilemmas that they face during their dealing with cancer patients. Our main ethical dilemma is whether it's ethical for oncology nurses to take unfulfilled shifts when they are either exhausted or cannot fulfill the needs of their other patients.
Okay, so many students in our class are either going into the medical field or assisting others who are going into the medical field. People who work within the field have been worked overtime or usually have worked overtime. So they try to accomplish their task as fast as they can. But since we don't live in a perfect world, we do make mistakes and we do get stressed out over them. How we deal with that contributes how we try to work around it. Since there is a shortage of nurses today, many are either overly worked and stressed out. You may even experience a situation where a family member had a mistake done on their treatment.
The issue, extent, and severity and cause are very important in this topic. Nurses are being overworked and cannot mentally adapt to stressful environment. The extent and severity is it can cause mental breakdowns for the nurses, resulting in inadequate health care for their patients. The cause is nurse shortages, resulting in nurses working overtime.
The form that we thought best fits our ethical dilemma is utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is maximizing the good and minimizing the negative. When nurses work their regular 35 to 40 hours a week, they can give 100% knowing that they're not going to be exhausted by working overtime. If they are certain that they're not going to work overtime, they're not going to be holding anything back with the patients they have now, so they can fully serve the patients to the best of their needs. Okay, and now we're going to play a video.
back you up and support you and to keep you informed is a blessing, because otherwise, when you go into this, you don't think straight. You know, the first few weeks of everything, I probably can't tell you everything that happened, because it's just a blur.
Christy will hit a milestone this spring. She will finish her last big round of chemo. From then on, it's weekly treatments and close monitoring. Christy says she's ready to get back to normal, but she knows she couldn't have gone through this without her family and a nurse navigator named Nicole.
She has become so much more than just a part of my medical staff. She's a friend.
If you would like more information on nurse navigators or to find a physician who is right for you, call 1-800-ALLEGIANT or go to allegiant.com. With your health news, I'm Mary Louise.
And we chose that video because it showed what a nurse navigator is. A nurse navigator could be a possible solution to oncology nurses who are working overtime. The nurse navigator can help the patients a lot with what oncology nurses do. They can kind of help direct them, which will take a lot of pressure off of the oncology nurses.
Ethical nursing practice obliges nurses to indirectly promote healthcare benefits to patients and families through duties such as advocacy. The American Nurses Association Code of Ethics for Nurses addresses this duty, specifically noting the historical place of advocacy as a nursing value and how advocacy should be practiced by individual nurses, specifying the protective aspect of the concept in certain situations such as maintaining confidentiality. Furthermore, ethical duties for health professionals are context-bound or linked to where encounters occur and what circumstances bring individuals and professionals together.
The chart we have on our Blogster, it shows how oncology nurses are overworked. One of the first things on the survey shows oncology nurses, the number of them that are on antidepressants, as opposed to the ones that aren't. The number is very high. The second survey question was how many oncology nurses would like to stay in the medical field. Most of them would, but the number of nurses that want to transfer out of oncology and go into another part of the hospital is very high, but they cannot transfer because there are not enough oncology nurses to take their shifts.
Experts say there's not many nurses, they're all overworked, always stressed because they're constantly surrounded by critically conditioned patients. We support their research and understanding of oncology nurses.
In conclusion, there are not that many nurses, and they are definitely overworked. Oncology nurses are overstressed because they are constantly surrounded by patients in the most critical of conditions. Ultimately, the main dilemma is, should oncology nurses take unfulfilled shifts although they are exhausted and may make unintentional mistakes? We believe that it is unethical for oncology nurses to take those shifts because they should be able to give 100% when working with their patients who need the highest quality of care.
Any questions?